This is Luke Paulson, the Catholic Conservative, and welcome to the news of the week for
July 1st, 2023.
And if you enjoy these videos, do not forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe for more.
Why call Jesus trans? Liberal Christians say some very strange things. We have seen them refer to God using feminine pronouns, even though we are supposed to respect someone's preferred pronouns. There was also a professor that said that Jesus was a woman because he referenced water many times during his ministry. However, now there is a push to call Jesus trans. The main argument seems to be that Jesus only has Mary's chromosomes. Since Jesus identifies as male, the activists claim that he was trans. Never mind that he had male traits such as a beard. Even if this was the case, Jesus could not have survived the womb with only one pair of each chromosome. The incarnation was a miracle, plain and simple. Jesus made wine out of grapes that were never plucked, bread out of grain that was never harvested, alongside fish that were never caught. Our Lord is beyond all space and all time. Biden's phone. We know that he was intimately involved in his son's business dealing. Even Kevin McCarthy thinks that there may be enough evidence to begin impeachment hearings. There was a satellite phone purchased so that the father and son would always be in contact. I could not prove it, but one call might have been just before this.
I remember going over convincing our team, or others, to convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I'm not going to, we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid.
All in all, this does not look good for the Biden crime family.
Anyway, I started off without you. And I sold a lot of state secrets and a lot of very important things that we shared.
However, Brandon probably learned how to be corrupt from his former boss.
This is my last election, basically. Yeah, and after my election, I have more flexibility. Yeah, I understand. I transmit this information to Vladimir and understand.
Act Blue sued. Act Blue, thanks in no small part to OMG, is being investigated by the FEC. The money that was funneled through seniors went through several financial institutions. I am not a lawyer, but it almost sounds like laundering. And in the end, the money all comes back to China. Speaking of OMG, spam emails to stop justice. Spam calls get very annoying after a while. Spam emails can get even worse because there are some lists that you cannot get off of, and they can get in the way of important emails. OMG's tip line has been flooded with the newsletter for every single government agency in the country. This is right after they started exposing BlackRock.
Coincidence? I think not!
There are a lot of powerful people that stand to lose a lot if anything related to BlackRock is exposed, or if they get too much bad press. Google may be censoring these stories, but we need to make sure that the media knows that this story matters. Feds in disguise. We know that there were feds on the ground on January 5th and 6th. Trying to get people to go in.
In fact, tomorrow, I don't even like to say it because I'll be arrested.
Well, let's not say it.
We need to go. I'll say it.
All right.
We need to go in.
Shut the fuck up, Boomer.
To the Capitol.
Now in Oregon, a group known as the Rose City Nationalists tried to stir up trouble with the Proud Boys. Since the Rose City Nationalists are known as white supremacists, they were pushed back. When their masks were removed, they hid their faces. Normal people are not afraid to show their faces in public. That is why the terrorists that burned down cities for Black Crimes Matter hid their faces. What was going on during all of this? The Proud Boys were peacefully protesting a pride event going on in the city. The same sort of events where they say this.
We're here, we're clear, we're coming for your shopping. We're here, we're clear, we're coming for your shopping.
And do this. In other words, there is nothing child-friendly about it. Abolishing affirmative action. Affirmative action is the single most racist policy in the history of the educational system. It is basically saying to minority children, you are not capable of getting into this school on your own talents and merits because we have no faith in you and you should have no faith in yourself either. Remember when Brandon said this?
We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Ketanji Brown Jackson did not vote for or against the policy. So which justices voted to keep the racist policy in place? It must have been that white supremacist Clarence Thomas, or that anti-woman Amy Coney Barrett. I am really surprised that Ketanji Brown Jackson did not comment on this ruling. After all, she got the job because of affirmative action. The right to refuse service. Moving on, the Supreme Court also ruled that someone cannot be forced at gunpoint to build a website. Why would you want to force someone to perform a service or provide a product? I would not trust someone who is forced to mix a drink for me.
What are you trying to do? Poison me?
Not only am I free to hire anyone I want based on their qualifications, I am free to fire anyone based on their absence of qualifications. If someone wanted to hire me to make a video that I could not agree with, I would not make it. However, a Democrat would lawyer up and force me to make the video for him. The Supreme Court ruled that this was not right. In a split decision, they ruled that a Colorado website designer cannot be forced at gunpoint to make a website for a gay marriage. He does have freedom of speech, which includes protections from compelled speech. Student loan forgiveness delayed. The push of the Democrats to forgive loans has not been stopped by the Supreme Court, but it has been delayed. From what I can understand, the Supreme Court did not rule that student loan forgiveness was unconstitutional, just that it is unconstitutional for the president to universally forgive said loans. It has to go through Congress and get a vote before the president sees it. The problem is not over, but even if student loans were ruled unconstitutional, another court case could overrule that. The problem is not legal, but an issue of what people value. Liberty or security. Maybe I'm just blowing smoke. Maybe I'm completely off my rocker, but that is just my opinion. And if you enjoyed this content, do not forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe for more. And also don't forget to follow me on social media.